Square ball, top of the box, Tavernier lines one up, lays it off to Kerkez who shoots! And Milos Kerkez scores!
Liverpool may have just hit the jackpot or doomed the club. They have signed Milos Kerkez, a left-back who can't defend. But despite this, Kerkez was terrific in the 24-25 season. He was among the top 3 fullbacks for sprints, distance covered and open play crosses. With Andy Robertson getting past his prime, Kerkez is the chosen heir. But can he surpass Robertson and become Arne Slot's weapon? Or will he be a tactical disaster? The thing is, Milos Kerkez's weakness in defense wouldn't have mattered as much if they didn't sign Jeremy Frimpong. The two of them are probably the best examples of what modern fullbacks are. They play like wingers and always want to attack opponents. If those two start at the same time for Liverpool, it's going to be pure excitement. There would be crazy dribbles, mind-blowing assists, and a superb display of football. But that excitement could be overshadowed by Liverpool being easily exposed. Those two rushing to attack means the midfield pivot will have way more defensive responsibilities, and the centre-backs must be able to cover the spaces left behind. I don't see Virgil van Dijk running that much to cover spaces, do you? Liverpool's balance in attack and defence helped them win the Premier League in the 2024-2025 season. So, is Arne Slot trying to change his own winning formula by signing Kerkez? If Jurgen Klopp signed Kerkez after having a player like Frimpong, it's understandable, since Kerkez is suited to his high-octane football. But Arne Slot is more conservative than Klopp. He wants his players to be on the ball as much as possible, which could be problematic for Kerkez. For the past 2 seasons, he has played for a team with less of the ball. In the 24-25 season, Bournemouth averaged around 48% of the possession compared to Liverpool's 58%. Bournemouth prioritises aggressive pressing to force transitions when opponents lose the ball, and Kerkez was key to this system. His side is so crucial that 44% of Bournemouth's attack goes through it. So asking a player who is used to constantly moving to be more conservative could be counterproductive. What do you think? However, it doesn't stop there. Kerkez is not a great defender, and there have been periods where he gets beaten in one-on-one situations. In the 24-25 season, opponents breezed past him 0.38 times per match, and it gets worse. Kerkez is weak in the air, and in the 24-25 season won just 36.4% of his duels. Against a team that plays long balls to wingers, Kerkez could be highly vulnerable. If you thought Kerkez could give up on aerial duels and try to tackle his opponents, well, think again. He is not exactly elite in one-on-one situations and doesn't even make as many tackles as he should. Now, when he makes tackles, what are the chances he'll win them? 50%. Elite teams Liverpool would face in both the Premier League and the Champions League will be licking their lips right now. But there's the thing, it wouldn't have been odd if Kerkez wasn't weak defensively. After all, he is like the left-back version of Trent. Remember how Trent was a wide midfielder during his early years as a player? Kerkez was a 10. He also played in the midfield and showed immense talent, but he had a problem. The club he was with at that time, Győr, had several players in that role, and they wanted Kerkez to play in a position that would get him into their first team as fast as possible. So the coaching staff moved him to the left back and were sure he would adapt because Kerkez only cares about one thing. He always wants to improve. Could this be why Slot is confident Kerkez would adapt to how Liverpool played? Kerkez adapted and soon debuted for the first team, and at 16 he was already their first choice left back. He was so good that 6 months later he got a call. On the other end was Paolo Maldini, who was AC Milan's technical director at the time. Maldini played left back for most of his career and has been described as having the elegance of a midfielder, and saw something in Kerkez. Maldini convinced Kerkez to join AC Milan, and he did. Kerkez was on his way up, or so he thought. AC Milan didn't see him as that guy, and Kerkez, he wanted to leave. In January 2022, he signed for AZ Alkmaar. His work rate, attitude, and willingness to learn made him a key player for them, and the exact profile of the player Bournemouth needs. So in July 2023, they signed him. After settling and adapting in the 23-24 season, Kerkez exploded in the 2024-25 season, and you get the feeling there's more to come from him. However, that depends on how Arne Slot plays him, but I'll touch on that later on. However, one thing is for sure, Kerkez won't be competing with Robertson. He is going to bench him. There is so much that Kerkez can offer Liverpool. Kerkez has incredible energy. He can keep running for the whole of 90 minutes and keep his focus throughout. He was among the top 3 fullbacks for sprints and distance covered in the 24-25 season. He is like Robertson in his prime, but in some ways Kerkez is better, at least in the 24-25 season. Kerkez is dynamic, and opponents can't predict the kind of movement he'll make. Imagine having a player like Arjen Robben in the left back. Kerkez can underlap now, and if you think you have the pin on his movement, he'll overlap the next time. He made the most overlapping runs of any player in the Premier League, and when he got his engine started, you could predict he'll be creating a chance. He had one immense overlap burst against Everton to assist David Brooks' goal with a pinpoint cross. Kerkez is also first for underlaps and made nearly 50% more underlaps than any other player. However, there is one attribute that, when combined with his overlap and underlap, makes him unstoppable, and that's his dribbling. Kerkez loves turning opponents in and out for fun, and had a 56.4% dribble success rate in the 24-25 season. Robertson had a 41.2% dribble success rate, despite having 17 more touches than Kerkez. With his dynamism and dribbling, Kerkez is already dangerous, but with the different range of his passes, phenomenal. Kerkez can produce a long-range pass from the left to the right side of the pitch, or can use his endless energy to carry the ball from his own half to the opponent's byline for either a cutback or a cross. One of the times he did this was against Tottenham, when he ran for nearly 45 meters from his half to produce a breathtaking cross for Marcus Tavernier's opening goal in Bournemouth against Spurs is simply unforgettable. Also, there's something about that assist that makes Kerkez dangerous for Liverpool, but I'll talk about that later. Speaking of crosses, Kerkez is a volume crosser by Andoni Iraola's design and has more crosses than Robertson. But it's not just about spamming crosses. Kerkez is also pretty accurate. He is among the top 20 most successful crossers in the 24-25 Premier League season with an accuracy of 27.5%, while Robertson had 23% accuracy. See how much Kerkez has surpassed Robertson? There's more. Kerkez has massively improved from his first season in Bournemouth and has significantly improved his goal contributions. Kerkez has 5 assists and 2 goals, which is better than Robertson's solitary assist throughout the season. Kerkez's output in front of the goal is decent, but as the player marked to be Robertson's successor, he has to have more numbers than that. Robertson might not have Trent's silkiness, but he is also a creative powerhouse. He is also among the top 25 players with the most assists in the Premier League, in a list with Kevin De Bruyne and Mohamed Salah. This is the level that Kerkez has to be on, and it's not just about the goal contributions. He has to improve defensively too, but Kerkez has a way of covering for his weaknesses. He is aggressive off the ball and hassles his opponents till they lose the ball. He is also superb at intercepting and recovering the ball and is among the top 20 fullbacks who do this. Now this is where it gets interesting. His aggression off the ball, his interceptions and recoveries make him the perfect signing for Slot. Slot loves that off-the-ball aggression, but loves when that aggression forces a counter-attack. Remember that Tottenham assist I talked about earlier? Before going on that super run and crossing, Kerkez intercepted a pass and immediately turned it into an attack. This would be an important skill set for Liverpool, who were top for both shots and goals from fast breaks in the 24-25 season. But that won't be the only way Slot would utilize him. Slot knows that Kerkez is dynamic and would ask him to play both narrowly and traditionally, depending on in-game situations. When building up, Kerkez could play narrowly to help Liverpool progress the ball through the centre. While Liverpool pass the ball around, Kerkez can help them be more unpredictable by giving them an option to go direct. He can use his diagonals to quickly get the ball to dangerous players like Mohamed Salah. He would also be expected to underlap, so the wingers could have an option to pass to or be able to attack spaces opponents leave behind when trying to mark Kerkez. Also, Kerkez himself can overlap to occupy those spaces and drag the opposition from wingers like Cody Gakpo and Luis Diaz, who love to cut inside and shoot. Kerkez will make Liverpool more unpredictable on the left wing, but there's still a major problem. Starting him with Frimpong could be problematic, but it doesn't have to be. Like Robertson did in the 24-25 season, Slot can give Kerkez a more conservative role for the sake of defensive structure. However, if Slot wants to get those two in attack, Liverpool will have to make a centre-back signing and their midfield pivot would have even more defensive roles. But with what Kerkez offers in attack, it would be worth it. It would be a waste of his talent to have Kerkez be more conservative. Or what do you think? Is Kerkez worth Slot tweaking his system for? I'd love to have a chat with you about it in the comments, and hit that subscribe button for more player analysis.